Roots for Wells organizers Barrie Schuster and Reno urban forester Steve Truchillo see a noticeable difference in the landscape here. Just more than 2 months ago, volunteers came out in groves to plant nearly 100 trees on the median between homes in this quaint neighborhood.
We had far more volunteers than we had anticipated show up. We had over 80 volunteers, and we got, I believe, 89 trees planted on the day of the planting in about 2 hours. And I think overall the total was about 100. There were some that were planted after the planting day, but it was really exciting. People had a lot of fun.
Barrie worked with Steve Truchillo and others to create the Roots for Wells project. It began with a survey of the residential area near Wells Avenue to see where trees were feasible and whether residents would be willing to take care of them.
We asked the homeowner to water trees because we certainly can as a city. We don't have the staffing, certainly to water the 25,000 trees we have, and half of those are on the streets. And so most homeowners are pretty good about that. And any other improvements they do, they can do what they do on their own.
Steve says the city chose trees that work well in medians.
Well, the medians, area between the curb and the sidewalk, vary in length through the neighborhoods. Often they're pretty narrow. These medians happen to be 5 feet, which is the minimum width that we are allowed to plant trees in. And the reason for that is because we want to protect the infrastructure, the curb and sidewalks. A lot of times have to be replaced when trees get too big and outgrow their space. These trees that we picked here are called Class 1 trees. They're actually small trees that don't reach big trunk diameters or great heights. So they will protect the curb and sidewalk in the future. Plus they're flowering trees, so they look really good. So we picked some of the most common ones, a couple of varieties of crabapple, the flowering purple leaf plums that we see behind us, and some hawthorns, but those are all trees that fit well in this spot, will grow well in our climate, and have in the past done really well here in Reno.
Barrie, who is also a member of the Ward 3 Neighborhood Advisory Board and a realtor who specializes in marketing these older homes, really sees the value of adding trees to the neighborhood.
In the older neighborhoods, they're a really unique feature. And when they're landscaped, they can really change the feel of the neighborhood. They can, beautify the neighborhood, provide shade, and they just look great when they have nice trees in them.
The Roots for Wells program was so successful that organizers plan to do it again next spring. Right now they're in the process of surveying another section of this historic Wells Avenue neighborhood. They're also seeking more funding for the project. If you're interested in finding out more about the Roots for Wells program or other programs sponsored by the city's Urban Forestry Division, you can get a hold of Steve Truchillo through Reno Direct, and that number is 334-INFO.